Hi, everybody.
Hi there.
Coming at you with another FaceChex Live. Sorry, get the face cut off there. I'm here with Samantha, and it's an exciting new day. We've unlocked her Facebook account, and she's regained access.
Yep.
So very exciting. And she's actually been working here in the office this week, reaching out to everybody to let them know what happened and to kind of just check to see what's happened over the last few years, if there's been any contact with this fake account, and basically warning people and informing them that about our product and how they can get involved and how to keep this from happening to other people and what to do if it does. So how's that been going?
It's so great to have access back to an account that I lost 7 years ago. But it's really amazing to go back and see it's like almost like a time capsule that you're looking at from 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. Reading through messages that people sent thinking that me, and although it was compromised at the time, now I have that back and I can see all those messages. So it's been really great to have access again.
It's great. Glad.
Yeah.
Does it feel like you're some stress off your shoulders?
Yes, huge weight off my shoulders. Every time I see that I can get into that account is really, really great.
That's great. Cool. That's good. And some of the people you've been reaching out to, what have been the responses? You said there's...
Yeah, so I've been able to contact about 50 of the over 300 friends that were still friends with the account. Mm-hmm. But I'm getting back responses like, is this the hacker or is this you? Which I think just exaggerates the prevalence.
Keep going. I'm just adding us to the Facebook Live. I forgot to do that.
So the response is asking, is this the hacker contacting me? Have you been hacked again?
Yeah.
Is this really you?
Don't worry, it's really her, people.
It's really me. And that's why it's so great that we can do this live, because it shows that this is like such a prevalent problem that people are contacting me from an account that has my pictures, my name, and asking, is this really you or is this a hacker? So really glad that we can do an interview with the video and show people that it's really me. And obviously this is a really big problem that FaceChex is able to address, keeping people from having fake accounts.
That's good. Yeah, and sorry for the distraction. We're streaming now live as well. For those of you also just joining us today, as well as on Facebook Live, Samantha was hacked at 17. Back then, there wasn't very many outlets. Today, if you get hacked, the best thing to do is to reach out to Facebook, if it's Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. In her case, it was Facebook. But just reach out to the program, let them know what happened. They are more responsive now. So you do have some outlets now, luckily. But at the time, you couldn't even get in touch with somebody at some of these places, and there was no outlet. There's no way to really reach out to somebody. Mm-hmm. So Samantha was just feeling trapped, obviously. Mm-hmm. Just had to open up a new account and be really, really private, which I can't imagine how it could have affected your psyche for your personal life. Just even online or offline, definitely online, obviously.
Right.
From that point on, but also offline, I can imagine, just, because you feel like you got violated, right?
Right.
At that point.
Right.
And at such a young age, that's hard. So if you have kids also, please invest in the Kickstarter, because we don't want to see that happening to them. We want an outlet. If they do get their profile copied or somebody's cyberbullying them by creating these fake profiles, a lot of the times we see people create another profile of a friend and then tell other friends to unfriend the real one. Just to mess with them, stuff like that. Again, just requires one click, an email to us, we'll get it down, and we'll get it taken care of. And not just on Facebook. Again, this isn't just concerned with Facebook. This is across many sites. This is across regular chat boards to dating sites to worse sites like adult sites and things like that that people get cyberbullied and thrown up on. So please support us in that. Her story is unique in that she was hacked at such a young age and really had no options. And, has finally gained some closure on that, which is great. And we're glad to have her here supporting the cause and reaching out to people and, trying to help other people so that this doesn't happen to them. And we're excited to do like an educational series for kids. We think high schools could really use something like this to educate people and young people on what to do when they get online, especially in people like her case, because you don't want to just kind of shut it out, as that doesn't solve the problem. Back in the story, so she's been reaching out to friends and family to let them know what happened and asking them to also support FaceChex to avoid this happening to anybody else. So she is contacting you. It's not a fake profile. She didn't get hacked again.
It's me.
It's her.
Hi, guys.
So any way you can get involved by just, at least letting us know what happened in the communication from that hacked account from 2010 till now. If we saw some questionnaires went out, for example.
Right.
Did you ever figure out if that was you or the hacker?
I haven't dove into it yet.
But you don't remember doing any questionnaires?
No, I know that people were tagging me in them after it was already hacked. So that was something that the hacker could have seen.
Yeah.
But I don't know that they put any out.
Okay.
If that's what you mean.
Yeah, because it looked like some of the accounts were answering questions either about you or about themselves. And that would be the first thing to look at, because that's the easiest way to hack somebody is you ask them questions about their favorite color, their dog, their teacher in first grade, the normal questions you get as security questions. And they usually mix it in with regular questions. So you'll have like 5 regular questions, 1 typical security question, a couple more regular questions, security question, and that leaves you easily open to hacking. And that's what opens it up outside of social media into your bank accounts. So be careful with that. That would be the primary to kind of get feedback on what people were answering back then, because we can't access the questionnaires, unfortunately. It looks like they're just too old, they're down. But if anybody remembers, that'd be helpful to contact us, let us know, so we can track this back. In terms of the hacker, we found out the route was actually through your mother's email, right?
Correct.
Which they then gained access to your Facebook. Now, they hacked her email and her email was attached to your Facebook already, or did they later do that?
From what I can remember, that would have been 9 years ago when I created the Facebook account. I imagine that I used my mom's email address because that would have been like 9th grade, and I don't think I even had my own email address at that point. So
weren't allowed to have email.
Yeah.
Phone.
Yeah, I remember being so excited when my parents let me get the Facebook in the first place. Pretty sure I used her email off the bat, and then when her email was compromised, that's when I found out that I was locked out of my account. They changed the password, I remember that. And when I reached out to Facebook saying this isn't me, it's been compromised, no help. So it's just stayed open, and I gave up. I just moved on with my new profile. And what you're saying earlier was really interesting about how it affects you, because I went back, now that I have access to my account again, I can see all the pictures that I used to post. And it was only up for 2 years, but I have tons and tons of pictures on there. And my new account, this includes my Instagram, I barely post anymore. And I know family members and friends have said to me, we don't know what's going on and what you're doing all the time. Like, I went away to college. Now I live across the country, and people back home say, we never hear from you. We never see you on Facebook. We don't know what you're up to. And so I know I definitely used to be really excited to share on Facebook, take lots of pictures, post lots on Facebook. And once I got an Instagram, same thing. I just don't post very much because I don't think I even realized how connected it was with what happened to me, that I got hacked. But it's amazing the difference, looking how much I used to post.
Posting more and now kind of thinking about it more already?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, okay.
So
that's great.
Yeah.
It's very powerful. I'm happy.
Yeah.
So it's I wasn't expecting as big of a breakthrough so far as far as people we could help. So I'm glad you came to the party. I'm glad this all kind of started to officially happen.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the proof and point of the need for it, the necessity, and the importance to people. For those of you that are watching, please invest at least $5 right now. $5 will change your life and another person's life, if not more. Again, a portion of everything, even from the $5 up to $5,000 packages, are going to not only protect you and your family, but also protect other people that either don't have the means or are contributors like Samantha, who we're going to go ahead and help out by providing them the FaceChex services just for sharing. And anybody else that you know that this has happened to or is happening to, we would love to hear from them. So please encourage people to share. At the very least, they get some free FaceChex out of it. And, that'll be very powerful for them currently and down the road. Now that we've started to reach out to people, I guess we'll be doing another live on what the response was. If there's more stories, I think someone else had just been hacked as well as you're reaching out to people.
Right.
How'd that come about?
I was just scrolling on Facebook and saw her, and you see this all the time. Someone says, don't accept any friend requests from me. I didn't create this new account.
Yeah.
In my case, I did have to create a new account because I got hacked and I wanted people to add that real account. But yeah, I've seen it actually a bunch of times where people say I got hacked, and that's the best recourse you can do is take the time to report it, post everywhere, don't accept this account. But that's why I think Facebook's FaceChex is so important, because it takes the action right away and it finds those accounts right away instead of you having to find them and then reach out to your friends, which in my case, it didn't work. There's still 360 some friends with that hacked account.
And they haven't seen your message, right?
I think 50 of them have seen it. But again, I mean, they might be wondering, is this the hacker? Is this you?
Yeah, and it could be a good methodology to ask them to unfriend the account once they've received your message, so you know that they're safe.
Yep, exactly.
And send them. Did you do an invite for this, by the way, like a Facebook invite?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yep. So if you got the Facebook invite, I'm sure she's going to share this video after with the Facebook invite. This is her real account that will be sharing it, I assume, or was it through the fake account?
I invited people through my real account.
Okay, so she invited you through her real account. So if you're seeing this video, you're in the real account.
Yes.
Unfriend the other account so she knows you're safe. That's what you need to do. What's the first name of your friend that got hacked? Have you tried reaching out to her?
Yep, Heather. I sent her a message, and I'll definitely follow up with her and make sure that it comes down. And we've been chatting about FaceChex, and I'll definitely follow up.
Great, because we'd love to help her. For those of you that happens, remember, it's not just once you get your account down with Facebook, for example. This isn't about Facebook. It's just called FaceChex because it's your face, and it happens to go synonymously with Facebook, FaceChex. But it's about checking for your face online to protect your identity. So once somebody gets into your account, either hacking or just copying or just rerouting your friends by creating a fake profile and saying, hey, that's one fake one, come here, whatever it is, they've already downloaded your images, and they're using them not just on Facebook. And they're using them, if they are even on Facebook, not just under your name. It's not just under Samantha, she's going to find her pictures. It's going to be under Jane or Jesse or Erica or who knows, Storm, I don't know. So, but then they end up on other sites. They end up on dating sites. They end up on escort sites. I found one of those. They end up on adult sites. They end up on chat boards. They end up all over the place. People Photoshop and whatever. So it's those are the things that you're not going to see until a friend goes, hey, I saw you on the site. What are you doing on the site? I didn't know. And that's what most of the people are like, whoa, yeah, I'm not on that site. What the hell? Or I didn't join that dating site. And so those are the things that literally happen after this. And then down the road, they'll use it again a few months later. So even if it gets shut down, the hackers or the people that do this, the profiles, let's call them profile jackers. The profile jackers they come back every few months with your same content because your content never goes away. And that's the problem. But then here's the solution, is to keep an eye on your identity, make sure that everything that's online about you is safe. And we respect all privacy laws. This isn't like a privacy thing because number one, everything you have public is already public. Number two, if you're not protecting it, you made it even more public for other people to see, access, and take and reuse to distribute it. So it's very important for you to watch our other videos on the 5 steps, keep everything private, and then know that everything that you do put online is public and that people can jack it and they can take it to duplicate your identity for more than just giving you a hard time or cyberbullying, okay? It's much worse than that. So it's a serious problem, a serious solution. Please invest in our Kickstarter. And you'll see some other writings from us and videos about, for example, the Russian hacking. We call it Russian hacking because that's the top keyword, but it's not just Russian hacking. Basically, any government in the world, every organization in the world has access to the U.S. households thanks to social media. So they're in your household now, and they're able to communicate with you and influence you. I think if you went to CNN yesterday, per some of our posts, you'll see at the very top it said Russian hackers told people to kill people on not just, they said Facebook, but it wasn't just Facebook. It was on Instagram. I think Facebook's getting bad rap because they're the biggest target. It was on Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and everything, that they are seeding information into your society, because your society being your network of friends. And likely they've already infiltrated it. So, and this isn't like a conspiracy theorist. It's now been on finally. Bill Maher was the first to recognize it that I saw, at least, in the same day we had posted our live segment about it. Then now you're seeing it on CNN, and you're going to see it continue to escalate. They're going to be like, oh, we have these revelations. But it's stuff that can be backtracked and easily tracked. And your profiles, when they get stolen, like Samantha's, can contribute to that. Mm-hmm. Because then they take you and repurpose you. So if you're not protecting yourself, you're then giving way to that in this free exchange of information. So what we're going to do with Samantha is we have 2 routes now that we got to go. Number one is rescue her friends from whatever they may have been subjected to. Who knows, they even have friends now in their circle possibly that this hacker could have created other fake profiles. It wasn't just Samantha. He could have done this to 50 people. And he's got 50 people who were mutual friends with Samantha, who are now mutual friends with all of Samantha's friends, and now they're embedded in there. And they've already deep-seeded themselves into the network. So how do we fight against that? Well, it's going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of effort. The best thing to do is to become part of FaceChex. And the best thing we can do is reach out to all of our friends, making them aware so that they do address their privacy settings. They watch our 5 steps to protecting yourself. And then they do hopefully invest in FaceChex and get themselves an account so that they can protect their identity, and then inform other people and keep them aware. So those are the best things they can do, I'd say. Mm-hmm. Anything you want to add to that before I talk about the other road we're going to take?
No.
Yep, full agree. Okay, cool. And then the other route is your mother's email was hacked. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go down a road on how we can figure out how that happened and what effect and damage that had.
Right.
And if she's up for it, we could even live interview her to see if anything happened to her bank accounts and things like that after the hacking.
Right.
Because obviously I'm sure those were affected because, let's face it, we keep all our logins in our email. So it's hard to avoid. Mm-hmm. And is she watching?
I hope so.
Well, if you're watching, Mom, don't worry. You don't have to come live if you don't want to. Samantha's a natural at it, obviously. You can tell she's just let it roll off. So she's doing a great job. And if anything, we just like to hear your story. So I guess that about wraps it up. Did you have anything else you want to share?
Nope. Just I'll be contacting people still who are still friends with the old account. If you get a message from me, it's really me. Trying to raise awareness about this and get that old account down so I can just move on and put that all behind me.
Great. Yeah, so as well. If you're friends of hers and you're watching, thank her for her courageousness and her ability to pull through this and really take the initiative and selflessness to go out and reach out to you to try to help you and try to inform you what happened, because a lot of people wouldn't do that. They just kind of just push it to the side and that's it. But this was a serious issue. She doesn't want to see it happening to you or any of her friends or family. For those of you that are avid watchers and listeners and participants in our FaceChex initiative, we're going to be having a couple big things coming up as we're halfway through the Kickstarter, and we really need to get our investments up. So please invite people to invest and like the page. We're going to be on our article on Russian meddling is going to be released on Forbes, hopefully in about a week. I said maybe a week to 2 weeks. So they were happy with the article and the information in it, that they're going to put up an article on Forbes on it. So it's great. Another thing is we are supposed to have Jenna Jameson coming on. She's going to do a live interview. So that should be interesting. You should see a release on that. I'm sure she gets copied a lot. She said, I believe she knew of 30 profiles that she knew about of copies of her. That are people out there selling goods and trying to get them to join things and buy things and all this stuff. So that catfishing them for who knows what. So that's going to be interesting. And we hope to have Larry Flint on here. We're looking forward to that. And then we have, and then a spot with AMC coming up. So look for that in the news as well. So yeah, big stuff coming up. We need your help though. So please take 5 minutes. Spend $5 or more on investing in FaceChex and helping people like Samantha protect themselves online. And help people that can't afford or aren't even aware that this is happening protect themselves, as we'll be putting in measures for people, and not just the ones that are participants in FaceChex. We'll be picking up stuff like child exploitation. We'll be looking for actually missing children. So next week we're actually doing a segment. That was the last thing I forgot. Hopefully we'll have the president of the ASACP with us next week. We're trying to lock down a time, and we're going to be covering the importance for their cause for protecting children, as well as we will be discussing how we're going to be able to help search for missing children and basically incorporating their images as kind of a social justice portion of FaceChex that we're looking to incorporate into the technology by connecting APIs with some of the missing exploited children foundations out there. So again, please look for our next live segments, and we'll be posting this update shortly after. All right, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Samantha. See you guys.